How long have you been listening to audiobooks for?
A good few years. I downloaded Audible over the pandemic, basically, because they had a half price offer. So that's when I started.
Sweet. And did you use anything before that to go to bed?
Yeah, I used to listen to murder podcasts on Spotify, but then I switched over to audiobooks, basically.
So quite similar, because there's a lot of talking and everything like that. Do you know if there's any reason why it particularly works on you?
I don't know. I just find the repetition kind of soothing, or the voices, because even with the murder podcast and then the books, I don't know, there's something about them that I just a story that I just find soothing, even if it's not on the nicest subject. It's just the story that's soothing for some reason.
And as I've spoken to other people for their pieces of media, some of them needed to really pay attention to what they were listening to go to bed. But for some others, they need something that they purposely can't really focus on to go to bed. Do you think this is a case of you actually needing something to think about when you go to bed, or is it you're not even paying attention?
I kind of just play it loud enough that I can hear a voice, and I kind of half listen, but I'm not really paying attention. It's more just a general sound, because complete silence just makes me think too much. So having a bit of a low sound, I just find really soothing, basically.
Does who's narrating it make a huge difference for you?
Not really, but I have listened to the same audiobooks on repeat at this point, so I'm kind of used to it. So it probably does matter at this point.
So does it have to be some of the same stuff over and over, or have you ever experimented with other audiobooks, or is it just that you're more comfortable with what you're listening to now?
Yeah, I have tried with other ones, but then I find I'm okay, I should listen to this when I'm a bit more lucid, so because I want to actually listen to the plot. But I choose, I have this book series that I've listened to and read a million times, so it's kind of just a familiar loop that I do, so I don't really need to listen properly to it.
Anything in particular?
Yeah, the Harry Potter books. I read them a million times over, and then when I downloaded Audible, I realised that I could get them all on there for a token each or whatever a month, so I have the collection. I've played loads of times on Audible.
Are you able to sleep with just silence, or do you always need something?
To be honest, I don't really try that often. Sometimes I do. I don't have any audio playing, but then I just find I'm thinking it too much, so I just prefer to have the audio. So I just feel I probably wouldn't sleep as well without being able to drift off to a book. Yeah.
There was some studies researching that sub-frequencies, the lower frequencies and bassier tones, usually are what help people sleep. Do you think for you that matters? Have you noticed that in what you've been listening to? Because I know you said it was Stephen Fry you're listening to. Do you think that helps, that he's got a lower voice? I don't know if he kind of does, but...
He's a bit deeper. His voice is a bit deeper. Yeah, maybe, but I did used to, well, it's a few years ago now, but I did used to listen to a murder podcast that was... presented by women, and they had higher pitch, so I actually...
Maybe not then.
Maybe not, no. I feel it was just the story aspect, them just reading something continuously was the soothing part.
Do you think being so familiar with it helps? Because I know that that's the case with who I'm making music for, that she really needs something that she already knows, and that nostalgia and something familiar does quite a lot for her. Does that factor in for you at all?
Yeah, I think so, because I have noticed since I've been playing the same kind of books on loop that I do fall asleep a lot quicker. I do a 30-minute setting on my Audible, and I find a lot of the time it could be it's probably halfway through I'm definitely asleep. I never get to the full half an hour unless I'm really overtired, and it cuts out. But yeah, usually it's quite quick.
I guess because as well, you already know the information that's coming. If it's something new, you actually, I guess your brain is a bit more stimulated to actually listen to it because it's something new. But if it's something you've heard over and over and you like it, maybe it's easier that way. Would you think so?
Yeah, I think so. It's really comforting because I know all the plots so well. I can be oh yeah, this bit's going to come up. So, or certain chapters, if I I know all the books really well. So there'd be certain chapters I might rewind to listen to again, even though it's already played to a certain point, because I just, for some reason, I just like the chapter or something about it. I just find like especially like comforting to listen to. That's how much I've listened to it, that I know which chapters that I want to rewind and listen to a few times.
Fair enough. Yeah, well, that's everything for now. I'll interview you after I've given you my audiobook, which I'll probably be doing Harry Potter as well. So hopefully you enjoy it. But even if you don't, we'll have a good discussion after. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
Okay, so this is part 2 of the audiobook media. So what did you think?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I found your voice very soothing, actually, and I think you're suited towards audiobooks. You have a future in it if you want.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. And so was it effective? You used it for sleep, right?
Yeah, I find it effective. Yeah, so some of the characters when you were doing them did crack me up a bit, but I did still find it really relaxing. I just like it when you see, like, I tend to listen to it on a volume just high enough that I can hear what's going on, if you get me. So I can follow the story a bit, but I wouldn't. So I don't know if the whispery thing would matter that much.
No, I get you. I do the same thing. Like, if it's too loud, it'll just throw me off. So it makes sense. Would you have preferred it if I just went with like my own voice like the whole time, or do you like the fact that there were like characters involved and stuff?
Yeah, no, I think I like the different voices of the characters. Because it was amusing, but like it was funny when Stephen Fry did it as well, doing like Voldemort's voice and everything. But I do like to have the differences in the voices, even though like I know the story through and through. I still enjoy the differences, So
if in an audiobook anybody included like some sort of music in between, do you think that would have helped you, or would you prefer without it?
I'm not sure actually, because out of all of the things I've listened to in the past few years, it's always just been people speaking and never really music. So I wouldn't have a clue. It's always just been speaking. I've never really done a music thing to drift off to sleep. I think ASMR is probably more studied and noted, but from speaking to other people, it seems like a lot of people either listen to like audiobooks or like other media that people wouldn't realise that wasn't just necessarily aimed towards helping you sleep. Because any of the books that I've listened to or like episodes of podcasts are not like aimed towards sleep at all. I just find them really deeply like soothing. So,
is there some big difference between, let's say, listening to music and audiobooks for you that really sets it apart? Like why you can't listen to music instead of audiobooks?
Yeah, like I go through phases of just listening to audiobooks and not doing any, like not listening to music at all. I just get comfort from the voices. There's just something about it I find soothing. So like whether just listening to audiobooks during the day to relax, or like I do religiously pretty much every night, there's just something like having company and having these voices around you. It almost is like having company, but like just really soothing and relaxing.